Jesus is best is MoFresh. So Elon Musk is going to talk about religion right here. This is good.
So I think we need to maybe give people a sense of optimism and excitement about the future, and a belief that the future will be better than the past, and they'll be more interested in having kids.
Did religion play a role in the past, Elon, to
Yeah.
kind of placate and make folks feel that way? When they
Yeah,
weren't?
I think so. Nature abhors a vacuum, and if you take away religion, then I think you actually you get something in its place which is actually worse than what was there before. I mean, it's like destructive, basically. You get like the woke mind virus, filling the hole that religion used to have, taking the place of religion. You get these dystopian de facto religions that are very very self-destructive. So I think perhaps some sort of revival of religion, or at least what we need is some coherent philosophy that people can get excited about. I mean, for me, it's a philosophy of curiosity. I'm curious about the nature of the universe, and I want to go out there, and I want humanity to be out there exploring the stars, maybe meeting alien civilizations. Maybe in some cases we see the ruins of a long dead alien civilization, but they were very strong for 10 million years. The kind of stuff that you see in Star Trek, in a non-dystopian sci-fi book or movie or show. And so I have a philosophy of curiosity of like, I just want to know what's going on, and in order to know what's going on, we must have an increase in the scope and scale of consciousness.
So I think that's a good place to stop it at. I mean, this is on the All In podcast. You guys can go check it out. However, I think what Elon Musk was getting at is we need a revival of religion. He didn't say which one, but he said that it's clear that when you void religion, meaning a subjection to a higher power, which I would assert would be the Christian God, when you subject yourself to that, you have something that protects you from what is naturally built in us, which the scriptures talk about, which is sin that desires to have us, which will produce death in its entirety. And Elon Musk, from a different perspective, has said that, well, the alternative of losing religion has prompted civilization to seemingly, not all, but you can see this a lot in the Western cultures, where we're kind of throwing out civilized religion, and we're just kind of accepting everybody's truths, and it's producing this thing that he was saying, which was wokeness. But then that, it in and of itself is self-destructive. It's self-evident. You can see what the effects of that are. And my conclusion, or my comment on that, I would offer a solution as to why, which would be, well, I can offer a diagnostic, which is, well, if you do not have something that morally is a truth, it's not a subjective, it can't be flipped and turned. If you have something that is concrete, it's a flagpole in the ground saying, Jesus lived a sinless life, he died, he rose on the third day. And then when you follow his teaching, so he has one death. Okay, so that's a flagpole, right? According to the Bible. And according to about 500 witnesses that seen him walk. And then according to the sightings of the scripture, so historically it's accurate based off of texts outside of the scriptures. But in and of itself, it's just a book, a collection of very antiquated biographies and autobiographies of individuals' lives that have very consistent stories, that have a very deep and implicit spiritual and moral value, and a lot of very clear and simple directives that in and of itself are very hard to accept. And according to the scriptures, if we were able to be unified under Christ's love, then you'd be able to avert some of this self-destruction that you see. Because a lot of these things that cause us to bicker at each other, as the scripture says in James, isn't it the sin that's already in us? That we want but we don't have. So for instance, you have people who want to live their lives as, whatever they want to identify as, and some people have a problem with what they identify as because it's interfering with them. But if we had that basis, that spiritual basis under Christ, I think it would avert a lot of this stuff. And I think Elon Musk is correct in his assertion. I think he's correct that we do need a revival, because the thing that founded our country, the unalienable rights, that idea it was rooted from the scriptures. The dollar bill and all that stuff, that wasn't false, that wasn't fake, that wasn't they were dumb back then. No, they were very wise in building a foundation based off of the principles of the scriptures. And around that time, the 1800 Reformation movement, 1776, 1800s, that was the time that the moral implication of, okay, if we're going to leave Europe, what are we going to found this nation on? And they chose God. They chose Jesus. They said, we're going to found it on Jesus because it is the thing that will allow everything to work. Okay, we can pick a government that will just end up doing exactly what Europe did. It's just we're so far away, we don't want to pay them taxes. We'll just pay our own selves taxes. But then they're like, no, it has to be deeper than that. This has to be an idea. And people from all over the world, as the nation's history has existed, have come all over the world to fulfill the dream of what was written on it. That's how expansive and open the foundation was. It didn't include, originally it didn't include people that looked like me. However, it did provide the framework or the openness that one day you could use literally the same wording of the Declaration of Independence to prove that guys like me and guys like you have a stake in this nation. And that's what we're living proof of it right now. I have my own place. I have my own car. I have my own camera, equipment, expensive stuff. I have a wife. We're different races. This is proof of this biblical foundation that breathes life into everything. Maybe our application of these things are long-winded, so it takes us longer time to apply what's already there. However, I do believe, not just out of a matter of chance, but when you actually are exercising the scriptures and you're working it in the fabric of the Declaration of Independence or the Bill of Rights or just our country, it will in time do that exercise, provide the necessary protections, provide the necessary freedoms and liberties to all people. It may take time because we are coming to the actualization or the application of what we read and how we interpret it. However, I think a lot of these roadblocks end up pointing us to the right direction. And I like where we're going. And I love what Elon Musk said ultimately, which is we need a revival of religion. And I would say not just any religion, but I would say the Christian God. So get in the comment box. Let me know what you guys think. Jesus is the best. It's your boy MoFresh. I'll catch you guys on the next video. See ya.